What is going on, hybrid shooters? It's Jason Vong and this is the new ZHIYUN Crane 2. In this video, we're going to break down all the latest features and talk about what's new and what's improved on this new stabilizer. First and foremost, it now supports up to a maximum payload of 3.2 kilograms, but if you're in the US like me, kg means nothing to us. It's 7 pounds, but just to give you guys a bit of a reference, the Crane V2 only supports up to 4 pounds. Speaking of Crane V2, I think now is a good time to address the really confusing naming convention that ZHIYUN's got going on for their Crane series. Crane V2 is not the same as Crane 2. It's more like Crane 1 version 2 because it doesn't have a substantial update to it other than a slight change in looks and very minor improvements. However, the Crane 2 is the actual and true successor to the original Crane, touting many new and amazing breakthrough features, which we're going to continue talking about right now. Because of the new payload limit, it is now bigger and thicker. I'm beginning to see a trend here. It now comes with 3 batteries instead of 2, and it does come with a charger to charge all 3 batteries at the same time. With more batteries, which means more runtime, the ZHIYUN Crane 2 promises 18 hours of battery life as opposed to 12 hours from the original Crane, which was still pretty ridiculously long anyway. But keep in mind, depending on how you set it up, what setup you got going on, which side is too heavy and whatnot, your runtime may vary. Yes, they actually balanced this watermelon on a damn thing. What? The next most notable difference is that the Crane 2 now uses and supports Manfrotto 501PL plates, which is arguably the most widely used and popular amongst filmmakers and videographers, streamlining our workflow on moving our camera from tripod to stabilizer. Moving on to the LED display right here, this tells you which follow mode you are in. Gone are the days of us just randomly clicking on the buttons just to find out we're not in the right mode. But the OLED display does much more than that. If you have a Canon camera, it will actually display your camera's parameters on here, so you'll be able to see stuff like ISO, shutter speed, and aperture, and be able to change each individual settings via this handle, this little control wheel right here, so long as you use the provided USB cable, which they will provide plenty of in different variety forms in case you use a system that's not Canon as well. But wait a minute, what about Sony and Panasonic? Will we be able to see the ISO, shutter speed, and aperture on this LED display right here? We'll get to those cameras in just a bit after I talk about the next feature. Alright, so let's go ahead and address the giant elephant in the room. What the hell does this dial do? This here, my friend, is a follow focus control. If you have a Canon camera connected to the Crane via USB, you can actually control the focus as you're shooting. And I hate to say it, folks, but damn it, that is game changing. You don't need no focus puller. You can pull your own focus as you stabilize your own footage. It's the equivalent of trying to do this. Hey, I'm actually doing it. What about, nope, that just completely went out the window. Okay, so you might have noticed that I've only been talking about Canon cameras. As of right now, prior to the release of the Crane 2, Canon cameras are the most compatible with the Crane 2 right now. And that's because, and this is what ZHIYUN told me, alright? And I quote, Canon lenses, the focus are mostly electronically controlled, while Sony requires mechanical control for focusing. Now, I'm not gonna pretend like I know what I'm talking about. I don't. That's more on the technical side of things. But if you wanna learn more, I'd say just join the ZHIYUN News Facebook group and just ask it there. But, this is what ZHIYUN also told me, is that they're developing an external accessory for the Sony cameras so that it will work with the follow focus control, and it will come out shortly after the release of the Crane 2. I'm not sure if that's also the case for Panasonic cameras, but my best guess is they are working on something for the Panasonic cameras as well. But these are the 3 systems that ZHIYUN is focusing on right now: Canon, Sony, and Panasonic. Which makes a lot of sense because these are the 3 brands, the 3 top players in the video DSLR mirrorless world. If you're shooting on a Nikon, I'm sorry, man. Who the hell shoots video on a Nikon? All right, last but not least, but also not as interesting as the previous two features that I talked about, the Crane 2 has this thing called a gradual power down. Before, when you power down your stabilizer, your camera kind of goes into free fall, and depending on the setup that you got, you could potentially damage your lens. But now, when you power down the Crane 2, it will gradually and gently rest your camera. Not the best example, but pretty neat. But what about the price? When is it coming out, and will they come out with a dual grip handle support? Price and date are not officially announced yet, but you can follow my social media or ZHIYUN's social media for the latest information on the Crane 2. The links are down below. As for the dual-handed grip thingy support thing that you were asking, yes, they are coming out with that. They confirmed it with me. I just don't know when that's coming either. But in the meantime, if you have any questions about the Crane 2, leave in the comments down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.